everyone, this is Anne-Marie from Alma Surfside. Thank you so much for joining me for another beading tutorial today. And for those of you who don't know me, I have an Etsy shop where I sell handmade surf and beach inspired jewelry. And I also have an Instagram account which is Alma Surfside 7. So if you want to check out my latest work, be sure to click on the links in the description box down below. And for today's beading tutorial, we're going to be working on a bracelet. And this is what it looks like. So it's a very rectangular shaped bracelet, and I've decided to use lime green on the inside of the pattern, and then white, on the inside as well as the outside of the pattern. So it's a very fresh take on a tennis bracelet, and it actually has kind of a lattice pattern on the inside here, or a checkered pattern, as you can see. So anyways, I thought it was a fun design. And the materials that I've used for this piece include Fireline. And I always work with 6 pound or 0.006. Okay, so you'll need that for the project. In the first pile there on my mat, you see delica beads, and these are in size 11. Okay, these happen to be Miyuki delicas, and that's what they look like. Okay, and then the color here on the back says neon green. Okay. In the second pile there on my mat are seed beads, and these are from Toho. These are size 11s, white opaque. Okay, so that's what they look like. In the third pile here on my mat, you see size 15 seed beads, and these are in galvanized silver, again by Toho. Okay, that's what they look like. And in the very last pile there on my mat are bugle beads in check number 2s. Okay, so on the bag it says number 2, and these are opaque white. Okay. And for those of you who are curious, what the measurement is, they're 5 millimeters approximately. So if you wanted to use something other than a check bugle, that's a good reference. Okay. Other than that, of course, you're going to need a lobster claw to finish off your bracelet, and 2 jump rings, okay, in the same color. So because I've used silver seed beads, I've decided to use silver jump rings for the closure. Okay. In terms of tools, it's good to have flat nose pliers so that you can work with your jump rings at the end of your project. And it's also good to have a pair of scissors on hand so that you can cut your fire line. Okay, and of course you're going to need a beading needle. So gather all your materials and let's get started. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've cut the fire line to an arm's length just to get myself started. That's always a good starting point, just so that you don't have too much, and you get overwhelmed with the length. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to leave yourself about 6 to 10 inches at the very base of your thread, just so that you can finish off the project. And we're going to go ahead and get started by picking up 1 delica, 1 white seed bead, size 11, another delica, and another seed bead. Okay, so a total of 4 beads on your needle, and you're going to push them down to the bottom. And what I want you to do is to insert your needle into the very first bead there, the delica. Okay, and pull on your thread. There we go. Okay, so I want you to reinforce this little shape by going through all of the beads here. So go through the seed bead on the right, go through the delica and seed bead on the left, back through the delica, and down the seed bead on the right. Okay, so what you did there is just you reinforce that shape so that it sits a little bit stronger than, just simply going through it once. And we're going to do the same thing again. So we're going to add 1 delica, 1 seed bead, and another delica to our needle. So you have a total of 3 beads there. And you're going to go through the opposite side of the white seed bead that you're coming out of. Okay, right there. And go ahead and pull on your needle. Okay, so that creates the exact same shape side by side. And we're going to reinforce that one as well. So go ahead and go through all 4 beads. And back up through the delica and the white bead. Okay, so you should have 3 seed beads sitting there in the center of your column. And you should have 2 beads on each side of that column, or 2 delica beads, I should say, on each side. Okay, we're going to repeat that by picking up 1 delica, 1 seed bead, another delica, and I'm going to go through the opposite side of the seed bead. Reinforce that again by going through all 4 beads. Okay, and then up through the delica and through the size 11. Okay, so that's the shape that you want to have at this point. I know it looks a little bit wonky, but don't worry, we're going to straighten it out. So turn your column straight up and down like this, and then I want you to pick up one of your size 15 seed beads in silver and go down the very first delica that you see in that row. So again, my thread is coming out of the right hand side here, and I'm going to go down the first green delica on the outside of the shape. Right there. Okay. Go ahead and pick up another size 15 and go down the next delica in that row. There we go. Okay, so see how that's straightening out our column? So what we're doing is we're just filling in all the empty gaps with size 15s. Okay, let's repeat that. Another 15. And go down the next delica. Okay. Now that we're at the end of our row, we're gonna, move our shape into this direction so that it's sitting more horizontally. And we're going to pick up another 15 and go through the white seed bead right there at the end of the row. There we go. Okay, so the left-hand side has been filled in with 15s, and we're going to do the exact same thing on the right-hand side of our column. Okay, so pick up a 15, go down the first delica, okay, pick up another 15, go down the next delica, okay, another 15, go through the next delica, and now that we're at the end of this row, we're going to pick up one more 15, and I want you to go through the size 11 and the size 15 bead there on the outside. Okay, so those 2 beads there at the end of the row. And pull on your thread. Okay, now that we've reached the outside of our shape, I'm over here on the right hand side, and I'm going to pick up 2 of my 15s, 1 bugle bead, and another couple of 15s. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna skip all of the beads going down the row, and I'm gonna insert my needle into the very last size 15. Okay, so right there. So again, skip until you reach the very last bead there and pull on your thread. Okay, so that creates the outside of our rectangular shape. And what we're going to do is go through the size 11. And we're also going to go through the 15. Okay, so one side of our shape is done. And now we just need to do the exact same thing on this side. So picking up 2 15s, 1 bugle, and another couple of 15s. Right there. Skip all of the beads on this top row and go into the very last size 15 bead there. Okay. And pull on your thread. Okay, so to make this shape even stronger, what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way around the outside with our needle. Okay, so I'm just going through all of the beads here. And go through the 3 beads up here at the top plus the size 11 seed bead. And there we go. Okay, so that just helped to make the outside of the shape stand a little bit stronger. And now we're ready to carry on and do another segment. So to create a connector to the next segment, I want you to pick up one size 15, a size 11 in white, and another 15. Okay, go through the opposite side of the seed bead sitting there in the middle and pull on your thread. And then you can carry on by going through all of the beads that you just added on. And you can step up through the 15 and the seed bead there at the top. Okay. Okay, so let's do that again. Let's pick up a delica, a size 11 seed bead, and another delica. So 3 beads there on your needle. And you're going to go through the opposite side of the white seed bead and pull on your thread. Okay. You're going to reinforce that little shape there by going through all of the beads that you just added on. Okay, there we go. So that's the first 2 seed beads in that row, and we need a total of 4. So I'm going to repeat that again, picking up a delica, a white bead, and another delica, and I'm going to go through the opposite side of the bead that I'm coming out of. Okay, go ahead and reinforce that by going through all 4 beads. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to need one more set, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up a delica, a size 11 seed bead and another delica. And I'm going to go through the opposite side of the previous bead. Okay, and again, you're going to want to reinforce it by going through all 4 of those beads one more time. Until you get back to the white seed bead there. Okay, so that's our column right there. And of course, we're going to make it sit a little bit straighter by picking up our size 15 seed beads and going down the first delica. Okay. Pick up another size 15 and go down the next delica. Okay, pick up another 15, go down the third delica. Okay, so as you can see, we're just filling in the column with the size 15s, okay, going all the way down the right-hand side. And now that we're at the end of the row, we can pick up 1 15 and go through the white seed bead there at the bottom. Okay, make sure you're pulling tight as you're working just so that everything sits nice and taut. Okay, and now I'm coming out of the right hand side here, and I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side. So pick up a 15, go down the first delica, pick up another 15, go down the second delica, okay, one more 15, go down the third delica, okay, so see how that's coming along? All of the gaps are getting filled in. And now that we're at the end of our segment, we're going to pick up a 15 and we're going to take our needle and go across towards the other 15 on the other side. Okay, so I just went through the 11 and now I've gone through the 15. Okay, so that's what the segments are shaping up to be. Okay, sort of a checkered pattern. And now we're ready to work on the outside of our shape. So to do that, you're going to pick up 2 of your 15s, 1 of your bugles, and another couple 15s. I'm going to skip all of the beads in this row, and I'm going to go through the very last size 15 at the base. Okay, so let me just get it in place here. Okay, I'm going to move my needle across the 11 and insert it into the 15. Okay, so now we're ready to do the outside of this part of our shape. So I'm going to pick up 2 of my 15s, 1 of my bugle beads, and another couple of size 15s. And I'm going to skip all of the beads here and then insert my needle into the very last size 15 in that row. Okay, so it's a little bit wonky right now, as you can see, but don't worry, we're going to straighten it out by going through all of those beads on the outside of our shape. Okay, so go ahead and do the full round. the goal is to go all the way around until you come back up to the top. Okay, so what you want to do is make sure that you get your needle through these seed beads sitting there in the center, this size 11. There we go. Okay, so that's what your shape should look like. Okay, and now we're ready to create a connector by picking up a size 15, a size 11, and another 15. And I'm going to go through the opposite side of the seed bead that we were exiting. And you can go ahead and reinforce that by going through all of the beads that you just added on. There we go, and you can step up through the size 15 and the size 11. Okay, so that's where we're at right now. Let's go through that one more time. So go ahead and pick up a delica, a size 11 seed bead, and another delica. Go through the opposite side of your seed bead, and then reinforce that first shape. Okay, so that's the first one. We have 2 seed beads in that row, and we need a total of 4. So you can go ahead and pick up another delica, a white seed bead, and another delica, and do the exact same thing. Okay, and let's check here. Let's see how many we have. So we need one more set because we only have 3 seed beads, and we need a total of 4. So once again, I'm picking up my delica, my white seed bead, and another delica, and I'm going to go through the opposite side. Okay. Reinforce all of that again by going through all 4 beads. And go down the delica and the white seed bead. Okay, so that's our column shape, and I'm coming out here on the top right hand side. Okay, so I need to pick up one of my size 15s, and I'm going to go down the very first delica on the right hand side. Okay, again, you're just going to go down the row and you're going to fill in all of the gaps with 15s. Go ahead and pick up another size 15 and go down the third delica. Okay, now that we're at the end here, we're going to get a 15, go into the white seed bead at the end of the row and pull on our thread. Okay, we're going to do the exact same thing on this side, so go ahead, pick up a 15, go down the first delica, pick up another 15, go down the second delica, okay, so just filling in the gaps again, a 15, go down the third delica, and last one. Now that we're at the end, we're going to go through the size 11 as well as the size 15. There we go. Okay, so that's what your shape should look like. And now you're ready to do the outside of the rectangle, so you can pick up 2 of your size 15s along with a bugle bead and another couple of size 15s. Okay, so a total of 2, 4, 5 beads on your needle. And you're going to go through the size 15 there at the end of the row. Okay, so make sure you skip all the beads in between so that it just frames the outside, right? And we're going to do the exact same thing on this side. Okay, so now that I'm exiting the size 15 on this side, I'm ready to pick up 2 of my size 15 seed beads, 1 of my bugles, and 2 more 15s. There we go. And again, we're going to skip all of the beads in the middle and go down the 15 on the far right hand side and pull on your thread. Okay, and then to reinforce that, we're going to go through all of the beads on the outside until we get back up to the top. Okay, just working my needle again around all of the outside beads. Going down the bugle. And back up to the seed bead there in the center. There we go. Okay, always make sure that you're pulling tight as you're working, just so that the outside sits, you know, nice and straight. Okay, so that's as far as we're going to go for today's tutorial in terms of the pattern, and then of course I'm going to show you how to finish the closure. Okay, so I'm going to get my other piece and we'll go through the loop together. Okay, so now we're ready to do our closure, and what I've done is I've put my needle through the size 11 seed bead in white that's sitting there at the top of my rectangular shape. And I'm going to pick up a total of 5 seed beads in size 15 in the silver. There we go, total of 5, and I'm going to go through the opposite side of the seed bead that's sitting there at the top. Okay, and that's just going to create a little loop shape like that. And then I can reinforce that shape by going through all of the beads that I just added on. And I'm also going to go through the size 11, okay, right down there. There we go. Okay, so that just creates a little loop there at the top of our bracelet. And we're going to knot it off now. So in this case, I've gone through the first 3 right here, and I'm going to create a knot on the inside. And I can carry down through the bugle below. Okay, and now I can do another knot here on the inside and finish it off. There we go. Okay, so I'm happy that the piece is secure, and I'm going to go ahead and cut off the excess thread right there and put it aside. And I'm going to go ahead and pick up one of my jump rings and make sure it's open, insert it into this loop here, and close it up. Okay, And then I'm going to grab another jump ring and I'm going to open it up and add my lobster claw right here and insert both of those pieces through the loop. Okay, close it back up. So that's what's going to secure your bracelet, right? You're going to open up the lobster claw and put it through the jump ring. Okay, so that's your closure. And that's it. Okay, so that concludes our beading tutorial for today, and I really hope that you enjoyed making this lattice style checkered, very modern tennis bracelet that I came up with. And I think it's fun, you know, with the bright green, the white, and the silver. And I think it's perfect for spring and summer for sure. And anyways, please take a minute to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next beading tutorial. Okay, take care. Bye for now.